Hello, welcome to another episode of Balance Act. My name is Juan, and today I wanted to talk about being in the moment and also how that relates to being your true self. So, who is your true self? Also, I like to say that being in the moment is something I personally very much struggle with. I'm very much in my head. I constantly overthinking things and stuff like that. Something I'm getting better with. This kind of practice, this kind of spiritual practice I have going on for a while now, has been helping with that. But definitely something I struggle with myself personally. So this will be a learning experience for me as well, as all these episodes are, honestly. But yeah, being in the moment and also understanding your true self. So what I've been gathering as of late, I just finished reading this book called The Five Rings by Musashi Miyamoto, who's he's actually a samurai from the medieval period in Japan. I think from like late 1600s he wrote this book. He's famous for, I think, winning like 60 duels or something like that throughout his lifetime. The guy's supposed to be a master swordsman, and he wrote a book about mastery and technique and strategy, but also was a surprisingly very spiritual book. And he talks very much about being in the moment, flowing, have that feeling, that flow feeling within yourself is always being there, in everything that you do. And then practicing that flow feeling even within your art. And he was saying it's not just for martial artists or swordsmen, but for people who are merchants and whatever walk of life you take. And very much that is my state, you have to be in the moment. It's basically the idea of no mind, just to clear your head of all these thoughts and just be there. Look around yourself, observe. Observe how you're feeling on the inside, observe what you're observing on the outside, but then feeling that true self, that true you, that flow state. And that is your connection to God. That's your connection to yourself. And that's the true self. That is the true self. It's not easy. It's not easy. It feels good when you do it, but it's not easy to maintain, mostly because of society and fear. So your own fears within yourself and your fears of how people will react to you. It's one of the things I would say that truly keep us from being in the moment and being our true selves. And this is from my own personal experience as well. So when you're by yourself, oftentimes, if you're not in a place of resentment, overthinking things, it's kind of easy to get into that flow state, right? Like you can do something. That's why playing video games feels so good. Having certain hobbies feels so good because you're by yourself. And you can just be yourself, just go into that flow state. That's why we all look for jobs within the arts many times, because it puts us in that state, which is our true self. And when we're taken out of that state, when we're dealing with other people, dealing with situations that are out of our control, and then we have a very fearful outlook at it, whether we're afraid of it because we can't control the situation, there's too much unknowingness in that situation. So like you're driving down the street, the reason why we get so angry when we drive down the street because we lose control when we're driving in traffic rather. When we lose control, we have no more control over how we're driving. We want to drive at a certain pace, fast, and we'll get to our location, the place where we're heading to, at a certain time. Now it's out of our control because we're stuck in traffic. So it makes us angry because we have lost control. When we lose control, we go into fear because we don't know what's next. It's out of our control. And that anger is us trying to gain control of a situation that we have no control over. So the best way to really be in the moment is to practice it. And that's why I think meditation is so important. Meditation is so important. Being in the moment and being yourself in that moment, I think, is incredible. Now, we do live in a society, and you can't exactly walk outside every time in this wonderful, beautiful, free flow state. Because it might be, depending on the culture you're in and the area of the world you live in, you might not be able to do that all the time, So that's why we talked about last time, the persona. But the idea is to be so practiced within yourself, being within the moment, that when you do put on that persona, that mask, that social mask, it's just that. That's not you. It's not fully you. It's a facsimile of you. It's a caricature of you. It's not you. And you know it. And you're only doing this to navigate this particular social situation. And when you leave it, the mask comes off. And you're the same person. So I think that's one of the real importance of learning about being the true self by yourself in the moment. So when you look at more of a metaphysical solution to this, it's definitely meditation. It's definitely meditation. It's definitely spending time with yourself. Definitely clearing your mind. Definitely affirming yourself. Looking around yourself, appreciating everything that there is. Happy with what is. Okay, happy with what is, eager for what is next. Just constantly being in that state of appreciation and well-being. And practicing at it, this is the hard part, through meditation, through being by yourself and feeling that flow state. What does that feel like in the moment? And maybe when you're doing something that you love doing, like drawing or playing a video game or playing pool or swimming, playing basketball, whatever it is, getting that flow state in that thing that you love to do the most. Practice it daily. And then bring it out to the world. I think that's the best way to be in the moment as yourself from a metaphysical standpoint. Now from a practical standpoint, it's basically the same thing, but it's about pain. It's about getting yourself into that place of discomfort, that pain, and then pushing past it. And understanding that you want to be in this place of uncertainty, you want to be in this place of pain, because this is where you're going to grow. That's a more practical way of looking at it. So let's say a jog, I think, is a perfect example. So you're going out for a jog, and you don't want to run past 2 miles. So you set a 2-mile limit for yourself. And you get there, you get to that 2-mile part, and you're at the finish line, you're feeling good, you're feeling great. As soon as you feel good, feel great, you run a 3rd mile. You run a 3rd mile. You keep going. You keep going. Matter of fact, maybe you turn off your iWatch. You know, maybe you don't have any time on at all, so you can't track your steps. You can't tell when 10 minutes have passed. Maybe it takes you 10 minutes to run a mile, so you can't tell when 10 minutes passed. And you just gotta go. You just gotta go. Keep running till you think 10 minutes is up. That's gonna throw you into a world of hurt, because your brain's like, stop, nigga, stop. You know, excuse my language. Stop. You know, that's what's gonna happen there. And then your brain, maybe your body, will revolt. Will try to get you to stop. Then you keep going, because you can run a 3rd mile, and you know it. But now it's a matter of convincing your mind and your body of that truth. This is what calibration is. You know, calibration is practice. So then you keep doing something to calibrate yourself to that point where, oh, I can do this. And you can also tell yourself, I can be in a place of uncertainty and I can survive. Because that's really what it's all about. It's about accepting yourself, who you are, accepting uncertainty, you don't know what's next, accepting that you don't control everything, you accept the things that you can't control, and then also being brave enough to take control, take responsibility for the things that are within your control. So these are some steps perhaps to help you to get to be in the moment as your true self. Here's a practice I do when I'm having problems doing that. So let's say if I'm in a situation, I feel really frustrated, really resentful, really whatever, and I just can't snap myself out of it. I mean, I'm way in my head too much, and I'm thinking too much about this thing and that thing and the other thing. So what do? So basically I say, okay, Juan, I stop myself, slow myself down. Say, okay, right in my head, I say, okay, Juan, you have millions and billions of dollars and nothing else mattered. We'll do it right now. Immediately a relief comes over me. Like, feeling comes over me. Like, oh, okay. Well, if I had millions and billions of dollars right now, I'll just go right down to the beach. You know, I'll go right down to the beach, probably get some dinner, maybe smoke some weed, and then fucking, grab a beer and just watch the sunset. That's what I'll do. That feeling of being able to do all that, exactly what I want to do, go to the beach, smoke, eat dinner, and drink a beer, watch the sunset. All that feeling. See myself there, imagine myself there, being there, feeling it, feeling myself be there. That's the real me. That's the real me. And that's the real you. And understand that you don't need anything from the outside to change who you actually are. And the more you accept who you actually are, your outside inevitably will change. All right, so that's it for this week. Thank you for joining me. May you find your balanced path between the practical and the metaphysical to your own well-being. I love you so much. Thank you.